YouTube, but it's already going on Facebook, and I've been able to send out requests over there or notifications via email and also social media to let people know about the show. Of course, if you're listening to this, you are already know about the show, so you are in the know, and we can actually help you resolve and answer your computer questions, your technical questions, because it's not just about computers anymore. There's so much that we're talking about when we talk about technical stuff. We're talking about not only your computer, your laptop, your iPhone, your Android phone, your tablet, or your iPad, your Ring doorbell, your smart switches and your smart cameras, your smart TV. And some of our customers tell us that some of these things are smarter than they are. And if that's the case, hey, I understand, but we can help you be even smarter than you were before the show started. So give us a call. The number here to be on the show, to have your questions answered, is 772 340 1590. 772 340 1590. A Faster PC live technical support. And we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can head over there, watch the show, see the show. You'll be able actually to see the steps that we're going through sometimes to actually resolve computer and technical issues. So this is something that definitely we want to actually show you and actually help you resolve this, help you resolve your computer and technical issues. So one of the things that we have been going over in the last few weeks, we have been going over the actual hacking that apparently happened at the St. Lucie County Tax Collector's Office, and they have made some progress, and they have gotten several of the they've gotten several of their offices open, but not the one office that is actually at Walton Road. That one is still closed down, and you'll just have to wait a little bit to get in there. So I mean, really, we're going on probably about 6 weeks. That we're looking at being down there. So quite a ordeal, and definitely hacking is serious, and it is very important that you, as individuals, and if you're a business especially, or run a medical practice, or a church, or a nonprofit, or a ministry, or a doctor's office, dental office, an accountant's office, if you run any type of computer networks, especially where you have sensitive data that is yours to actually to watch and to look at, you definitely need to get there and make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your data. So this is something that definitely we want to help you protect yourself. We have at a Faster PC, we do provide cybersecurity. We provide this for individuals. We provide it for businesses. We provide it for for organizations of all types, and we can help you protect your computers, your network, your data. We do this all the time, really, and this is a part of what we do. We can also help you if you are an organization that is in under a particular compliance issue or compliance regulation. We can actually help you be compliant with uh, uh, with the steps that you need to take to be compliant. We can help you with that. So, some of the things that we can do is is we can, first of all, back up your data. Just imagine if you were, and really when you're talking about backing up your data, what are you talking about protecting it from? Well, one of the things that happens quite often is hardware failure. So you could actually have a hard drive, if you have a platter hard drive, they can fail. And many times when they fail, we can still get the data off of them, but sometimes when they fail, we can't. And sometimes when they fail, we actually have to send it out to a data recovery facility. And that's not something that is easy. It's not something that's very it does cost money, and so better yet, back up your data ahead of time. Even if you have an SSD drive, it's very rare that they fail, but sometimes they do, especially if you don't have a big name brand drive. And even if you do have a big name brand drive, there's different levels and different quality and different periods of time that they actually will protect you from, or that the manufacturer is guaranteeing. So the manufacturer will actually say this drive will work for this many hours, or this much transfer. It can handle this many gigabytes or terabytes of transfer. And once it reaches that, well, it may continue to work. It may continue to read. You may not be able to read or write from it. So definitely hardware failure is one of the things you need to protect yourself against. Also, one of the things we'll get into a little bit later is some computers, the drive is actually soldered onto the motherboard. And in that case, if the motherboard dies, you have no access to your data, short of sending it out to a data recovery facility that could actually desolder those chips, solder them onto another board, and actually get you access to the data. Very expensive process, though. And so, better yet, back up your data ahead of time. Well, what about if you actually make a mistake on a file? This happens quite often. I make mistakes on files. I try not to make mistakes on files, but sometimes I make mistakes on files. So it is really important that you have a backup so that you can roll back to a previous version of that file. There's many ways that you can do that type of a backup, by the way. How about also your if your computer is stolen? We've had customers that have backups, but their backups are right next to their computer, and the computer and the backup are stolen. Or what if you have a fire? Hopefully you won't have a fire. Most people won't have fires, but we've had customers that have had their data and their backup destroyed because they were both in the same location and they did have a fire. And how about ransomware, where you're maybe tricked into clicking on a link that starts encrypting your data, and you don't realize, some of our customers have told us, well, I tried to open the file, but it didn't open. Well, it actually did open. It did what it was designed to do. It didn't do what it told you it was going to do. What it did is launch malicious code that started encrypting the data on your computer. And so you need to protect against that as well. Or what if you have something malicious happen where someone purposely damages your data? You want to have protection in all of these cases, and a faster PC can provide a robust backup method. And methods of backup that can help protect you and can help preserve your data in case of loss from any of these sources. If you are interested, our number is 772-878-5978. You're listening to a Faster PC radio here, heard every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour right here on this station and stream live to our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, ready to answer your computer questions. So you know what? If you have questions, well, we can't answer them unless you ask them. Our number, if you want to have your computer questions answered, is 772-340-5090. 772-340-5090. Also, you can type your questions into the comment section of our live Facebook video that's happening right now over at Facebook. You can go there, search for Faster PC. We have almost 23,000 likes, or you just go to our website, afasterpc.com, click on the link to listen to a Faster PC radio. We're here, we're ready to answer your computer questions, and we'll be right back to do that. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. This is Brian Longworth, host of A Faster PC Radio, where we answer your computer questions for free every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. But it gets even better than that.
Now, wait a minute. How could it possibly get any better than that?
Yes, Cliff. A Faster PC has technicians standing by every Saturday ready to work on your computer.
Wait a minute. Technicians standing by on a Saturday?
Well, Cliff, A Faster PC has technicians standing by Monday through Friday for standard and emergency service, both in-shop and on-site. That means you can bring your computer to A Faster PC, or A Faster PC can come to you. And if you need computer service in a hurry, we offer emergency service both in-shop and on-site. We can handle anything from software installs, viruses, spyware, to multi-site VPN networking. Computer problems?
You need a Faster PC.
A Faster PC, conveniently located at 7186 South US 1, Port St. Lucie, and on the web at afasterpc.com. For more information, call 878-5978. 878-5978. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC.
A Faster PC has been here, and as Florida begins to open for business,
The Faster PC.
will remain open to repair computers 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 2 Saturdays. We offer curbside drop-off and pickup and on-site service where a Faster PC can come to you. And we can fix many computer problems remotely without requiring any in-person contact. A Faster PC is also working to help our customers set up remote access so that employees can continue to work and be productive from home. Computer problems?
You need a Faster PC.
A Faster PC is conveniently located at 7190 South US 1 next to the new Dollar General in Port St. Lucie, and on the web at
www.afasterpc.com.
that's www.afasterpc.com. For more information, call 878-5978. Again, that's 772-878-5978. Even in times like these, when you have computer problems,
You need a Faster PC.
welcome back to A Faster PC Radio. I know you've been waiting, a whole few minutes for the next segment of today's show. If you've been waiting to give us a call so that you can get your computer question answered, well, now's a great time to give us a call. Give us a call. The number here at the studio is 772-340-1590. 772-340-1590. Of course, if you're a little bit shy, maybe you don't want to call and be on the radio. This is your opportunity, by the way, if you do want to be on the radio. But if you're a little bit shy, maybe you don't want to be on the radio, you don't want people to hear what you say, then you can actually head over to our Facebook video. It's a live Facebook video going on right now. You can head over there. Just go to www.afasterpc.com. Click on the link to listen to A Faster PC Radio. That'll take you to our Facebook page. Or you can go to Facebook, search for A Faster PC. You'll find our page. We have between 22 and 23,000 likes. You'll be able to actually get over there, scroll down on the page a little bit. You'll see the live video, and you can type your question into the comment section. Now, your question doesn't have to be on what we've been talking about. It can be on any topic as long as it's computer related. So head over there and you can be on the show, or just give us a call, 772-340-1590. We did also want to remind you that we have technicians standing by ready to resolve computer problems. Our number in the shop is 772-878-5978, and we are located at 7190 South US 1 in Port St. Lucie. Again, the number is 772-878-5978. Computer problems?
You need a Faster PC.
Yes, you do, and we are back ready to answer your questions, ready to help you resolve your computer and technical issues. And that's what we do here on a Faster PC Live Technical Support. We answer your questions and we bring you educational information because we know that you need to learn. Even if you know everything there is to know, and I know some of our listeners actually are IT professionals and do know what they're doing and really know most of what we're talking about here on this show. But we also have people listening that are in various levels. Some people don't even have a computer. And I've had people that tell me, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm glad you know. And I just want you to be, I want to know that you're around when I have a computer problem. But hopefully, we can try to answer and try to explain and try to educate you so that you can know things as well. One of the things that we have been talking about and discussing is we've been going over how to buy a new computer, and especially how to buy a new computer that's actually better or faster than the one that you currently have. That's not worse than the one that you already have. And a few weeks ago, we went over looking at the CPU. Actually, 3 weeks ago, we went over just briefly how you can actually first of all determine whether you actually need a new computer. This past week we had one person that contacted us and said, I watched your show and about how to buy a new computer that's not worse than the one you already have, but I really don't want a new computer. And so, the idea of these segments is not to encourage you to buy a new computer or to say you need to buy a new computer. In fact, I know there are some stores out there that have tech shops in their store, big stores that have tech shops in their store. And really, if your PC has a serious problem, what they will tell you is that you need to buy a new computer. Why? Because they sell new computers and they make a lot of money. They want to sell you a new computer. The manufacturer wants to sell you a new computer as well. So this is something that definitely you want to actually just remember and pay attention to, is that these companies actually want to sell you a new computer. We're not trying to talk you into buying a new computer. In fact, if you want to keep your current computer, we can help you with that as well. And so 3 weeks ago, we actually did a session where we talked about how you can decide whether to replace your computer or not. And sometimes if your computer is slow, it's just so slow. In fact, we have 2 computers in our shop right now that the customers came in. They said, why is my computer so slow? We looked at them and we said, you know what? Your computer is so slow because it has a slow hard drive. But the problem is you also only have 4 gigabytes of RAM and you also have a slow processor. And in these 2 computers, the processor is so slow that it's actually something that we really wouldn't recommend upgrading the drive to an SSD. Would that make it faster? Yes, it would make it faster. Would it make it fast enough to be worth the expenditure? In my opinion, no. And so we've told the customers that, and they're going to make up their mind whether they want to replace the computer, whether they want to buy a used computer, what they want to do. They may buy new, they may buy used. But really, again, we have a few times when the computer, the processor's slow. We've had a few customers that have said, you know what, I can't, if I spend this much money on a new computer, it's not going to be, I can't buy a new computer for the same price as upgrading this one. So we actually said, okay, well, we'll go ahead and do it. But it's not going to be as fast as it could be if it had a fast processor. But we have some other computers in the shop that actually, in fact, we have one computer in the shop that is fast enough. It has a fast processor, and it has plenty of RAM. And really, this computer should fly. It should be fast, but it has a slow platter hard drive. And so we can actually speed that computer up to where it is fast enough, and it's going to be faster than a new computer, with a platter hard drive would be. We actually showed and talked about how you can check the speed of your processor, how you can check it against a processor that you may be considering today. I think 2 weeks ago we talked about that because we actually have had customers, and this is why we go over this. Every year we have customers that go out and buy a computer that's slower than the one they already have, or that doesn't have a big enough hard drive, or that has other limitations where it doesn't meet their needs, and really it's not as good as the one that they already had. And I don't care how good of a deal you get, if your computer that you're buying is not as good as the one that you're replacing, you're wasting your money, and we don't want you to waste your money. We want to actually train you and educate you. So we also talked last week about, again, how you can make sure that you're buying a good, solid system. One of the things that you want to actually one of the things that you actually want to do and want to look at is making sure that you first of all have an SSD drive in the computer, and that SSD drive is, one, not soldered to the motherboard, and two, that SSD drive is in a format that is upgradable if you need to get a bigger one, and also that it is big enough to store your data. So first of all, what we're going to want to do, I'm going to switch over to a full screen. I'll verbally describe what I'm going through on the show here, but I'll also show this for those that are watching the video. So you're going to want to launch a file explorer. You can do that by, if you have Windows 10 or Windows 7, Windows 10 or Windows 11, you can click on the file folder on the bottom, and or you can hold down the Windows key. That's the key that looks like a 4-pane window, or in some older computers it looks like a Windows flag. You hold that down, and that's to the left of the Alt key, to the left of the space bar. Hold that down and press the letter E for Explorer or Edward, and that will launch the Windows Explorer, where you can actually scroll down to this PC on the left side, click on this PC, and you will see your hard drive. Now, one of the things you'll see, I have, and I do not recommend you do this at home, I have a lot of data on my SSD drives, and I'm constantly, and we talked about this last week, constantly having to remove and clean up data, and so I didn't start out this way, but I'm adding data every week, and this is something that I'm going to have to clean this up at some point. And I have cleaned it up to some extent, but you want to look at your C drive. Most people, you're only going to have a C drive. You see, I have a C, a D, and an E, and they all have a lot of data on them. The D not as much, because I've moved a lot of it over to the E, which is where my cloud storage is. We'll talk about that in another segment, but most people, you're only going to have a C, and what you're going to do is right-click on that drive, go down to Properties, and left-click. And this will show you how much is used and how much is free and what the total is. So you want to make sure that the drive that you're getting is not only more than what the size of your drive is, but it's also large enough that you'll have ample storage space. And I actually have my primary drive is a 2 terabyte drive, but I've partitioned it into a 500 gigabyte and a 1.5 gigabyte, somewhere around there. So that's what you're looking at. So you will want to make sure that drive is large enough. You'll also want to make sure that it's not soldered to the motherboard. So one of the things that we're seeing with some of the low-cost computers is that they'll have an SSD drive, but the drive is actually either soldered to the motherboard, which, what does that mean? The motherboard is the main board on the computer. And I'm kind of looking around here to see if I can see a motherboard. and I'm sure that I have some out. In fact, let me switch over. I can probably pull this out for those that are watching. If I can, I've got several computers that are like partially taken apart here on this bench where I am. So I should be able to actually pull one out, and I will be able to do this. So I just have to get down to it. So, and let me pull this out without hopefully making too much of a mess. I didn't knock anything down, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to switch this over, and I'll hold this up for the camera to see. I'll verbally describe this. But the motherboard is the main board on the computer. Everything plugs into it. It's right over in this area for those that are watching on the video. You have your CPU, which does everything that happens on a computer is a mathematical calculation. The CPU does that. The RAM is on here. Some computers will have RAM slots. Some will have soldered RAM. And that's also important. If you have RAM that is soldered and there's no expansion slot, then the RAM that you get is it. You're not going to be able to upgrade. So we'll talk a little bit about that either in the next segment or on next week's show. But your hard drive on this, you're going to have older computers. You'll have with a laptop, a 2.5-inch drive, and what I showed on the screen is a laptop, and but there are other types of computers also, desktops and all-in-ones. Sometimes the all-in-ones will have a laptop motherboard or a motherboard that's similar to a laptop motherboard. Some of the parts are laptop parts and some of them are desktop parts sometimes. Newer computers a lot of times will have an NVMe slot, and that gives you access to be able to have an NVMe SSD drive. And so having a drive that's large enough and is also removable is important. We have a computer in our shop that actually has been in our shop for quite a while. The customer had this computer and the motherboard died. And we diagnosed it. We said, hey, it's a bad motherboard. Unfortunately, the drive is soldered onto the motherboard. So their data, their files, whether it's pictures or Word documents or Excel documents, PDF documents. And I know some of you are saying, I don't even have any documents. And we've had customers that have told us they didn't have any documents. And we've had to learn that we need to say, documents are pictures. Data is pictures. Data is Word documents. Data is Excel documents. It's PDF documents. Maybe your tax forms. These are all examples of data. And it's important that you actually get your data and that you can actually, when we talked in the last segment about backing up your data. It's especially important if that hard drive is soldered onto the motherboard, because first of all, it's not upgradable. You're not going to be able to change the size of it, and a lot of times when they're soldered onto the motherboard, they are smaller drives to begin with. And in addition to being soldered on, not being able to upgrade it, you also have the situation that if the motherboard dies, that you have no access to your data. So it's vitally important in those situations. Really, it's vitally important to back up your data all the time, but especially if you have a drive that's soldered onto the motherboard. But before you buy the computer, why not check out and see whether the drive is soldered onto the motherboard? And I can tell you it's not always easy to find out. You have to do some digging. You have to do some researching. We do this for our customers that ask us to do this, and we find out, well, is this soldered onto the motherboard? And you have to make a calculated decision. Do you want to go with that, or do you not want to go with that? If you're interested in that service, 772-878-5978. You're listening to a Faster PC radio heard on this station every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back for the final segment of today's show. Listen, if you want to get your computer questions answered and you haven't called in, now's your opportunity. In fact, this is your last opportunity coming up. 772-340-1590. 772-340-1590. You can also head over to our Facebook page, and you can actually, from the Facebook page, you can type your computer questions into the comment section of the live video, and we'll cover them on today's show. But you know what? You've got to get over there right now or give us a call, 772-340-1590, so we can answer your computer questions. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. From the founding of our company, a Faster PC has provided our customers with quality service and computer products at competitive prices. We find that in the current economy, this is more important than ever. A Faster PC recently conducted a market survey and found that our prices are the least expensive in the area. Some of our competitors charge twice what we charge. Perhaps that's why more customers are turning to a Faster PC. We're helping our customers save money by repairing their computers rather than replacing them.
Now, wait a minute. You mean a Faster PC saves customers money?
A Faster PC offers the most competitive prices for computer repair in our area.
Wait a minute. Technicians that know what they're doing for less than the competition?
That's right. A Faster PC can handle anything from software installs, virus, spyware, and malware, and those annoying pop-ups to QuickBooks, Metisoft, and SoftEnd support, from wireless networks to hardware networks. Computer problems?
You need a Faster PC.
Conveniently located at 7186 South US 1, Port St. Lucie, and on the web at afasterpc.com. Call 878-5978. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC.
This is Brian Longworth, host of a Faster PC Radio, where we answer your computer questions for free every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. But it gets even better than that.
Now, wait a minute. How could it possibly get any better than that?
Yes, Cliff. A Faster PC has technicians standing by every Saturday ready to work on your computer.
Wait a minute. Technicians standing by on a Saturday?
Well, Cliff, a Faster PC has technicians standing by Monday through Friday for standard and emergency service, both in-shop and on-site. That means you can bring your computer to a Faster PC, or a Faster PC can come to you. And if you need computer service in a hurry, we offer emergency service both in-shop and on-site. We can handle anything from software installs, viruses, spyware, to multi-site VPN networking. Computer problems?
You need a Faster PC.
A Faster PC, conveniently located at 7186 South US 1, Port St. Lucie, and on the web at afasterpc.com. For more information, call 878-5978. 878-5978. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC.
Welcome back to a Faster PC Radio. This is the last segment of today's show. We'd love to answer your computer questions, but if you don't call, we can't answer. Give us a call. The number to have your computer question answered is 772-340-1590, 772-340-1590, or you can hop on over to our Facebook page, A Faster PC, and actually from there, you can type your question into the comment section. So again, just a few more minutes to answer your questions. We did want to remind you also that not only can you ask your questions at the Facebook page or by calling 772-340-1590, but you can also watch the video as well. So some of the questions that I'm answering, as I answer those questions, I'll be able actually to show you the steps that you go through to resolve computer problems. And if you're not where you can watch it right now, that's fine. You can watch it at your convenience shortly after the show's over. It'll be up there on our Facebook page. You can get there one of two ways. Either go to our website, afasterpc.com. We have a link that says listen to a Faster PC Radio. If you click on that, it'll take you to our Facebook page, or go to Facebook and search for a Faster PC. We also wanted to remind you that in the shop we have technicians standing by today to work on computers and resolve computer problems. We're at 7190 South US 1, and our number in the office is 772-878-5978. And of course, we're here to answer your questions. Well, your computer questions, and we could answer other questions, but we're here specifically to answer computer questions. Computer problems?
you need a faster PC.
Yes, you do, and we are back ready to answer your computer questions, and that's what we're doing right now. We're going to line 3. We have David on the line. Welcome to A Faster PC Live Technical Support. How can we help you today?
Yes, I'd like to hear your comments about something regarding my computer, which I hadn't used for about a week while I was away from my home. And when I came back yesterday and last night, turned on the computer, I said, something is not quite looking right, and some strange things were happening.
Okay. All right.
Do you have any idea why this would happen?
Well, what are the strange things that were happening?
Well, among other things, the Microsoft Word, didn't seem to be working the way it was supposed to. I tried to open some documents and had some issues with that. And then, just some other thing just kind of made me think, what is going on here?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly how long. I know you mentioned you were away for about a week. Microsoft does release Windows updates, and sometimes that can affect the computer in that, if your computer's been off and Windows updates are available while it was off, when you turn it back on, it will use some of the resources to actually go out and check for updates, see that there are updates, start downloading those updates, and then installing those updates. And that can slow your system down. That can make it a little bit so that maybe things are slower than they usually are. They don't work quite like they do. But you do need to look in the lower right hand corner of the screen. I'll actually switch over to a full screen so that people can see, although the icon's not going to be on my computer because my computer has been rebooted and the updates have been installed. But depending on the operating system, you're going to have a symbol in the lower right. In Windows 10 and 11, it looks kind of like lines that are going in a circle with arrows. So they go in a go from left up and over and down, and then there's an arrow, and then there's one that goes from the lower right portion over to the left portion, and then there's an arrow pointing up, and that's a symbol that shows that your computer has updates that need to be installed, or the computer needs to be rebooted to finish installing them. But during that whole process, your computer actually does do a series of steps where, again, it searches for the updates, it downloads the updates, it installs the updates, and you can actually, during that time, you're going to see a larger portion of your CPU being used for the update. Some of the RAM, I haven't really noticed a large amount of RAM, although I have a large amount of RAM on my system. You're also going to see some hard drive utilization, some additional hard drive utilization happening. And so, so that can slow your computer down, and it could affect the performance. So one of the things is, if your computer's been off for a little bit, leave it on. You can use it. Just know that things might be a little bit slower. Definitely watch for a symbol in the lower right-hand corner that might indicate that there are updates that need to be installed all the way, and for them to be completely installed, your computer actually needs to be rebooted. And so you can actually go through that reboot process. That process will take longer to boot up, depending on the type of, a lot of times even when you go to restart, and I'll switch again over to a full screen. So you'll click on the start button, and then you'll click on the power button, and if updates are available or your computer needs to be updated, typically you'll see restart. You'll also see restart and install updates. You'll see shut down and install updates, or maybe those are flipped the opposite ways, but you'll see those options, and typically in the newer operating systems, in Windows 11 at least, it tells you approximately how long that reboot is going to be. but depending on the type of update that's being installed, if it's just regular monthly security updates, it might not take very long for your computer to be restarted. But if it's a major feature update, well, that could take longer. Sometimes it could even take 30 minutes. Some of you guys might even remember that there was a time several years ago when I like to reboot my computer quite often before doing this show, and I went to reboot my computer before the show, and my computer asked me, do you want to install updates? And I figured, sure, I'll install updates. I want to get those updates installed. Sure, I'll let it do it. What I didn't realize is that it was a feature update, which is it's like a service pack. It really replaces most of the operating system. And in this case, my computer wasn't as fast back then as it is now. In fact, it was like 2 computers ago. So the computer was not as fast, and it took over 30 minutes. I did the first 30 minutes of the show connected with my cell phone to WPSL Studio, and that's how they were patching. That would be really complicated with with getting out to WCNO as well. I would probably, in today's environment, I would actually connect with Zoom on my cell phone to those stations. But sometimes it will take a little bit longer, maybe even as much as 30 minutes to do that update. But that's what I would check. I would just, check and see if there's an update that's waiting, maybe reboot the computer, make sure things are running. With Microsoft Office, if you have Microsoft 365, that is actually linked to a Microsoft account. And periodically, you have to log in or verify who you are, but with your username and password. The username is most often a email address, but it could also be a phone number. And then the password, most of our customers don't even remember that they have a password, much less what it is. Hopefully you know what it is, because if you have Microsoft 365, your Microsoft Office, your Word, your Excel, and any other programs that you use with Microsoft Office, and your Microsoft OneDrive, all those need to be logged in with your Microsoft account username and password. And it has to be the same Microsoft account username and password that you used when you purchased the software. So that's another thing to check. And I don't know, David, whether you have Microsoft 365 or whether you have a different, a version where you buy it and you own it and that's it. But if you do have the 365, occasionally you do need to authenticate. Especially if your password changes, you need to authenticate. You need to log in again, and periodically they'll have you do that anyway, just to make sure that you are who you say you are and that you are authorized to use that software on that computer or have access to that OneDrive data on that computer. So those are important things to check, but really probably rebooting is the number one thing, and that really is the number one thing with most computer problems. You want to restart. If you're having problems with the internet, you'll want to power cycle your cable modem, power cycle your router. One of the things when we go out and we're troubleshooting internet, we call Comcast, the first thing they want to do is power cycle the customer's modem. And we have already done that at that point, so we try to get them to skip that, or we tell them no. And you have to be very precise in your wording, because otherwise, if you're not, they'll say, "We just restarted your modem. Call us back in 10 minutes. We cannot help you until the modem finishes restarting." And so those types of things, restarting, power cycling, those are good ways to actually clear your system out. And even with a computer, shutting it down, pulling the power cord out of it. If it's a laptop and you have a removable battery, remove the battery. if just to release all power from it, and then plug the battery back in, plug the power back in, boot it up. If it's a desktop, just pull the power after it's shut down, not before it's shut down, because we don't want to have any problems with booting. And then that totally clears everything, and then you're able to actually boot up, and hopefully everything works at that point. Of course, if it doesn't, we can actually look at the system. We can get in there and see what's going on, but there's a good chance that there's some updates. I know that there were some updates that were released last week and a few weeks before that. Always the second Tuesday or the Wednesday or Thursday after that second Tuesday, there's always some updates. And then quite often later in the month, there are also some updates that are released. And the ones that come out later in the month are typically what's called 0-day threats. They address 0-day threats, which means that the threat is already being used by hackers when the manufacturer, in this case Microsoft, finds out about it. So it's very important to get those updates installed as soon as possible. So that is most likely what's going on. And again, if it's not, we can log in. We can even log in remotely and check out what's going on, see what's happening. If Office needs to be reinstalled, we can do that. We can help you with that, whether it's a Microsoft account. And by the way, anyone out there listening that has a Microsoft account, if you don't know what the password is, it's really important to know what that password is. We help customers reset their Microsoft password, and sometimes it can get complicated, especially if you have a phone number that's linked to the account that you no longer have access to, or an email that's linked to the account that you no longer have access to. We even helped one client where the computer user actually, sadly, passed away, a young girl. When I say young, I mean she was a young woman, and she passed away, and her family was trying to get into the computer to search for clues that might lead to what happened to her and why she passed. And so but the computer had a Microsoft account, and we actually, to get into the computer, there was a phone number linked to the account that the customer that the girl didn't have when she died. It was an old phone number. But we were able, actually, in this case, to track down that person. They were kind enough to give us codes from Microsoft, and we were able to actually reset this password through that. Really in that type of a situation, it was very difficult to do, and thankfully we were able to reach out, and the person was cooperative enough to help us out with that. But hopefully you don't get into that situation. But one of the things that happens, Microsoft wants you to use a Microsoft account. They will offer to create a new one when you launch a new computer, and that's probably a good topic to talk about next week. Maybe we'll talk about how to make sure that you're using the Microsoft account that you already have, as opposed to a new Microsoft account. So we'll talk about that.
To the end of today's show, but if you've missed any part of this show, or just want to listen to it again or watch it again, because you can do that at our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can not only hear the show, but also see the show. And when we've described and shown you how to resolve computer problems, you can actually see that and watch it over and over again at our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. You can get there by going to our website of fasterpc.com and clicking on the links. We're open today until 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, we're open from 9 to 5, and next Saturday, we'll be open from 9 to 2. We want to invite you to listen to our church radio show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here on WPSL. The title to tomorrow's sermon is, "The Real Reason There is Conflict in the Middle East. Is This a Sign We're in the End Times?" Part 6. You can listen to other sermons on our church website, covenanttabernacle.com, or our church Facebook page, Covenant Tabernacle World Outreach Center. You can find a Faster PC's Facebook page and YouTube channel by searching for a Faster PC on Facebook and YouTube, or by going to our website and clicking on the links. While there, you can actually watch the show, not only hear the show, but also watch the show and see the steps that we go through to actually resolve computer problems. A Faster PC is conveniently located at 7190 South US 1 on the east side of US 1, just north of Rio Mar. We're also on the web at www.afasterpc.com. Again, that's afasterpc.com. And you can reach us at 772-878-5978. Again, 772-878-5978. Computer problems?
Don't you know by now you need a faster PC?
They say this is the most wonderful time of the year. Why? Because God sent his only begotten Son into the world. He came as a babe in the manger, but ended his life dying on the cross so that your sins and my sins can be forgiven. If you don't know Jesus as your Savior, I invite you to repent of your sins and cry out to God for salvation through Jesus Christ.
This is WPTF